Let's dive right into this Bioinfo Bytes explainer on the incredibly fast-paced, high-stakes world of modern genome assembly. You can really think of it as the ultimate biological reconstruction project. We're talking about literally reading the blueprint of life itself. But, as you probably know, it certainly doesn't come to us as one neatly bound, easy-to-read book.
Picture this: a single chromosome shattering into millions of tiny, totally randomized fragments. That's essentially what we're dealing with during the initial stages of shotgun sequencing. So, our mission? We have to computationally solve this giant, dense jigsaw puzzle. We've got to take all of those scattered pieces of genetic information and figure out exactly how they stitch back together to reveal the original, complete picture.
So, how do we actually do that? Well, we usually kick off our algorithmic puzzle solving with the OLC approach. That stands for overlap, layout, and consensus. First up, we find the DNA fragments that share overlapping sequences, kind of like finding the shared letters between two words in a crossword. Next, we lay them out to see the overarching path. And finally, we build a true consensus sequence, which is crucial because it smooths out any of those pesky machine-reading errors. Now, under the hood, we lean heavily on graph theory to pull this off. It's actually a pretty brilliant system. By connecting nodes, which represent our short sequence fragments, with arcs that represent the overlaps between them, we can smoothly calculate and traverse the paths through this incredibly complex network. This lets us start lining up all those fragmented sequences right back into their correct original biological order. Think about it as building from the micro to the macro level. We start down at the micro level with our reads. These are the tiny, sometimes error-prone segments of base pairs that get spit out by the sequencing machines. By mapping out those overlaps we just talked about, we merge the reads into much larger, continuous blocks of DNA called contigs. A contig is basically a solid, continuous assembly of those smaller pieces with absolutely zero gaps. But here is the catch. Complex genomes are massive, and they're absolutely full of tricky, repetitive DNA, meaning our contigs rarely link up perfectly end-to-end. A lot of times there's a physical gap where the exact sequence is just unknown. And that is exactly where scaffolds come in. A scaffold groups those known contigs into larger ordered networks, even when chunks are missing in between. It basically gives us the architectural framework of the entire chromosome.
So how do we actually bridge those missing pieces? Well, to bypass that repetitive DNA that loves to confuse our algorithms, we historically used paired end sequence constraints. That's basically reading both ends of a larger DNA fragment so we know exactly how far apart two contigs should be. But today, we rely on revolutionary long reads from third-generation sequencing, or TGS. Platforms like PacBio and Oxford Nanopore generate massive, continuous reads that completely span these problematic gaps. It's a total game changer, allowing us to create highly accurate de novo assemblies right from scratch.
Okay, but how do we score this massive completed puzzle? How do we know if our assembly is actually any good? Enter a mathematical metric called N50. The N50 is the largest length L where half of all your assembled nucleotides are contained in contigs or scaffolds of at least that size. To put it simply, a higher N50 metric means you've got a far more contiguous, high-quality assembly. It means your puzzle is made up of large, solid blocks rather than millions of tiny, fragmented pieces.
Hitting that 50% cumulative threshold efficiently, that is the ultimate indicator of a perfectly reconstructed biological map. When half of your entire genomic dataset is locked up in massive, unbroken stretches of DNA, you know you've successfully navigated the whole computational maze of repetitive sequences and formatting errors. So, the big takeaway from all of this is the ultimate sequence of life's reconstruction. We go from chaotic reads, stitched together into larger contigs, structured into expansive scaffolds, and finally assembled into a complete, readable genome. But I'll leave you with this final thought. As our algorithms become virtually flawless, and these new long-read technologies let us assemble the genomes of everything on Earth with perfect accuracy, will the ultimate scientific challenge shift from simply reading the code to completely rewriting it?